Yeah, so Navaughn Donaldson did have knee surgery last year, and he's still rehabbing from that. And also, I mean, Navaughn Donaldson is a very large man, and I mean that in every way possible. He's like 6'6", 360. I mean, he's massive, and maybe that's a little too heavy. And that's the thing that if you remember when we were talking about his recruitment, we're talking about, hey, maybe he can cut a little bit of weight for his performance on the field. But then, I mean, you're thinking just as a healthy human being, like not many people are really svelte at that kind of size. You know what I mean? You need to, for personal health reasons, maybe drop a couple pounds, which, I mean, look at my face. It's rounder now than it was when we started doing these videos. So I understand, and I'm along that path as well. So for those reasons, yeah, Navaughn Donaldson announced the other day that he's going to take a redshirt this year and then come back as a redshirt senior in the 2021 season, or for the 2021 season. Some people are saying, oh yeah, like obviously rival fans and idiots on social media trying to, basically just talk bad about the kid, or guy. I mean, because yeah, he's a senior in college, so he's not necessarily a kid, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And you look around the country, there's teams and people who have done this. I mean, De'Aaron King did it last year. Zach McLeod did it last year. Jared Willis III took a leave of absence for a year, his senior year, and then came back as a redshirt senior. So he did it here at Miami. Other guys have done this for a variety, of reasons. And, if you're talking about rehabbing from an injury and getting yourself in better physical shape, I don't think that there's really better reasons that exist to be able to do that. So yeah, it does change the rotation for this year. Obviously, Donaldson has the most starting experience since he had started from his freshman year when he was a freshman All-American. And that accomplishment of being a freshman All-American, and I think once or twice honorable mention All-ACC, are more accolades than pretty much everybody else on the roster. So yeah, you're losing a player of caliber, of a good caliber, but obviously I think his play kind of curtailed, and he was dealing with injuries and maybe a little bit of bad weight. So now you're talking about bringing in Jared Williams from Houston, who was announced that he's coming in. So he's probably going to be at one tackle. You talk about John Campbell at the other tackle, because he's a guy who had worked forward throughout the little bit of spring that we got towards that position. And then, you got Corey Gaynor, Ja'Kai Clark, DJ Scaife. And, maybe you're pushing for one of these other guys like a Zion Nelson or Zalante Hillary to be able to have one of those spots. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there are 7, maybe 8 guys who could play here along the offensive line. And that's a step in the right direction, not necessarily saying that we have, the 1991 Washington, I almost went there, excuse me, the Washington professional teams, iconic offensive line. Miami does not have that, but I think it is an improvement from where it stood. Wow, I really just woke up also with where things stood last year along the offensive line. And then you're going to get a player of Donaldson's caliber back in 2021. So yeah, the rotation is going to look a little bit different, but again, with a different offense that's going to, I think, help the offensive line a little bit. And then you have a new offensive line coach who, by all accounts, is one of the best technicians and seems to be a great recruiter as well, adding to their skill sets. I think that is going to be maybe a positive step. And sometimes, and I mean this in like the most literal sense, Donaldson for this year is an addition by subtraction, because he's not the player that he could be physically or health-wise. And when you add him back in 2021, I think that you're going to get a good or better version of Navaughn Donaldson, a healthy version. You're going to get a better version of Navaughn Donaldson, and you're going to have a fifth-year senior leader back for that unit as Miami opens the 2021 season in Atlanta against Alabama.